When I started my company, my initial focus was to help small and micro businesses realize the importance of having a great CFO or accountant by their side, because I understood that as their businesses continued to grow, they would eventually need someone to help them make better financial decisions, make more profits, and seek more money whenever possible. But the average small business owner thinks of an accountant as someone who is there just for taxes at the end of the year. So every time I would mention that I was an accountant, the first question would be, can you do my taxes? Now, luckily, I also had that expertise and I was able to meet their immediate need, gain their trust, and then show them how much more value I could actually bring to their business. I'm here to remind you today that in these crazy times, now is the time that you, as a small business owner, needs a CFO by your side. And if you stay until the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Welcome to another video of mine. This one is an extremely important one because I will cover something that every small business owner in America should pay very close attention to right now: the CARES Act stimulus package. This past Friday, President Trump just signed into law the largest stimulus package to combat this pandemic. $2 trillion will be injected into the economy. $2 trillion? How many zeros is that? And for once, small business owners like you and I are finally included and will get some much needed help. More specifically, this bill includes a loan opportunity that every business that employs less than 500 people can take advantage of. It is called the Paycheck Protection Loan Program, and it is essentially a loan that turns into a grant and can be 100% forgiven if the funds are properly used. So allow me to break down exactly how it is intended to work. But before we get into the details, if you're not familiar with me, my name is Fabrice Metan, owner of a tax and accounting company called Simplified. I'm an accountant with 10 plus years of experience, and my passion is to help business owners and professionals keep more of their hard-earned income through tax and accounting strategies. So in this new loan program, the government specifically looked at all the areas that usually slows down federal funding and changed provisions to make the process go a lot faster. So for example, you do not need to go out and seek out another loan before seeking out this loan, which was typical for SBA loans. Secondly, there are no personal guarantees nor collateral needed to secure this loan because the federal government is guaranteeing it 100% to give the assurance to the lender that the risk is not really theirs. Can you believe that? Basically, small businesses will only need to be able to prove the impact of this pandemic on their business in order to secure funding. In addition to that, the Small Business Administration, also known as SBA, typically has local lenders in our states and cities that are eligible to give out loans on their behalf. Now, in this bill, the government is actually allowing these so-called 7A lenders to issue these loans. And in addition, they will expand the availability by bringing in more lenders and allowing it to be, widely spread throughout the market. So the next question is, what do you need to do to qualify? If you are a small business with 500 or fewer employees, you automatically qualify for this loan. Now, that doesn't guarantee that you will get the loan, but it does qualify you to apply for the loan. It is also expanded to other groups like 501c3 nonprofits, and also sole proprietorships, self-employed, independent contractors. And that is huge because in the past, those groups were typically excluded from that type of legislation. Last but not least, the requirements of this loan simply asks that the lender verifies that the business asking for the loan was in business prior to February 2020. Now, if you are an independent contractor, self-employed, or sole proprietorships, they might ask for more information to determine that you were, in fact, in existence prior to that time limit. Now, these loans are intended to cover expenses from February 15th, 2020, all the way through June 30th. Now, how much can you really get, and what are the terms? Well, your maximum loan value will be determined by taking your average monthly payroll cost times 2.5 for a maximum total loan value of up to $10 million per business. Those payroll expenses include the salaries and wages that you pay for employees or independent contractors under $100,000 per employee, plus healthcare benefits, plus paid sick leave, and any other benefits that you offer as a company to your employees. So for example, let's assume that you spend about $15,000 in payroll every month. Well, in this loan, you can expect to receive about $37,500. Now, the interest rate on this loan is no more than 4%. The loan will be amortized over a period of time of 10 years, and the principal and interest will be deferred for a maximum period of up to 12 months. Now, here comes the best part. How do we make this loan forgivable? They will first look at your expenses for the 8-week period immediately after origination of the loan and look at every dollar spent on payroll, rent, utilities, and interest on mortgage debt. And every dollar spent on those items will basically reduce your loan dollar for dollar all the way down to zero. Side note, keep in mind that under current law, forgiveness of debt count as income. So you want to factor in that you might owe taxes on that debt if it is forgiven. Unless, of course, something changes, under this bill, but we'll see. We also want to look at your payroll and see if you manage to keep the employees you already have. So if you reduced headcount or reduced wages paid to key employees making under $100,000 a year, your loan, the amount of your loan that was set to be forgiven will also be reduced. If you already let go of employees and you manage to bring them back thanks to this loan, you will actually get more credit for that and will not get penalized for something like this. One important example that I would like to also mention is that if you used to have, say, 20 employees last year and now you're only down to 5, you will be able to apply for this loan based on the 20 employees that you used to have, and you will also be able to get it all forgiven as long as you use the funds to rehire up to those 20 employees and pay all the expenses that go along with that. Now, I'm sure you heard of the Economic Injury Disaster Loans, also known as EIDL loans from the SBA. Those are actually a little bit different, but even though you can ask for both loans, meaning the EIDL loans and the Paycheck Protection Loan, you want to make sure that you do not ask for them for the same expenses, basically to cover the same expenses and the same purpose. So you will have to distinguish those expenses under each one of those purposes. Now, what about your current SBA loan? If you already have one, well, guess what? You can already get a 6-month deferment on that loan in this bill. Contact the SBA for more information on that. And what about unemployment? Well, there has been some expansion on unemployment included in this bill that will be of interest to you if you are self-employed. For independent contractors specifically, there is another program included called the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, or PUA. Up to 39 weeks of PUA will be available for those workers, and the program is expected to expire by December 31st of this year. Now, of course, workers who are eligible for unemployment insurance under another term will not be able to be eligible for the PUA. But those eligible for PUA include self-employed workers, independent contractors, freelancers, those seeking part-time work, and those who do not have a long enough work history to qualify for standard unemployment insurance. If your small business employs a lot of independent contractors, please make sure to let them know that they are eligible for this Paycheck Protection Program in case you are no longer able to employ them during this crisis. Now, while all of that is all fine and dandy, please remember that this is debt. So you do not want to ask and take more than you can bear, because you will still have to pay that back through future cash flows. Now, even though there's a way to make this a portion of this loan forgiven, remember that you will still have to spend that money on specific expenses. And so you want to make sure that those specific expenses are things that your business actually need to continue to run or to get back to your successful position. So that is all I have for you today. If you have more questions on this topic, please make sure to schedule a time on my calendar, because my biggest fear right now is that a lot of small businesses will close down, shut down their doors during this crisis simply because they did not seek out the right information or seek out the right help to be able to navigate and figure out all the different things that are available to them at this particular time. And as accountants, CFOs, and financial experts, it will be our duty to help as many small businesses as possible secure the funding they need to help their dream stay alive. You have to go into this with a real plan on how to budget and utilize these funds. And that's what an outsourced CFO can do for you. That's what we at Simplify My Numbers can help you with. See you on the next video.